being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Thanks for joining us on the Owls Media Network. I'm Tom Rogers, and I'll be calling today's action. It's a Little East Conference showdown between the Keene State Owls and UMass-Dartmouth Corsairs. We're at Dr. Ron Butcher Field, where kickoff is only moments away. It was an offensive onslaught from Keene Wednesday as they pummeled Vermont State Castleton 5-0. Riley Devine had a hat trick that doubled her goals on the season. Alexis Skinner remained productive offensively and defensively, getting an assist on one of Devine's goals, as well as putting one in the net herself. The sophomore goalkeeper Sonia Moritz put up another shutout, including 3 saves. Keene now has 4 shutout victories on the season. For UMass-Dartmouth, they come into this game after tying LEC opponents UMass-Boston 1-1. The goal against UMass-Boston was the Corsairs' first score since September 2nd. While goal scoring has been an issue for the Corsairs, freshman goalkeeper Grace Conti has been a highlight. Conti started the season by notching 4 straight shutouts. UMass-Dartmouth is 0-1-1 in LEC matchups, so between being goal-hungry and looking for their first conference win, it should be interesting to see the Corsairs' approach against a stifling Keene defense. Keene are 1-0-2 in the LEC right now and won't be looking to drop their first conference matchup at home. It should be an exciting day here at Dr. Ron Butcher Field. Stay tuned as we get ready for the start of this one.
Our campus can get pretty quiet during the summer when most students are home, but that doesn't mean it's completely empty. Students are working and learning here year-round. There's tour guides and student workers like me, and students are interning all over the Monadnock region. Many of our majors require hands-on learning, and our students are working as reporters, videographers, environmental advocates, and scientific researchers to gain experience. Here's a look at what's happening right here in our city this summer.
I remember writing in the 2nd grade that I wanted to be a teacher, and I always knew that I was going to be a teacher. I started school a year early, and it created challenges for me because I wasn't able to pick up material as fast as the other students. Outside of school, my jaju would quiz me on my math facts and read with me. It showed me that even though I had challenges in school, there were still people who wanted to help me. In high school, I knew I had to work harder than everyone else to get the same results, but I had teachers that would help me in subject areas outside of their own because they could relate to how I felt. The way these interactions with my jaju and my teachers made me feel while I was learning is the inspiration for how I'd like my students to feel. I'm able to build relationships and be vulnerable with my students when they're struggling because I've been in their shoes and I know exactly how they feel. Being able to relate to them from my own experience has become a massive asset in becoming a teacher.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30, touchdown! Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field, field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions, with exclusive access.
This is your ticket to the NCAA tournament.
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
All right, pay attention. Welcome to Fandom 101. We'll cover the tools of the trade from foam fingers in the wave to the super secret wave. How's that for a course description? Lesson 1, your game starts long before the opening whistle, so arrive prepared. 2, if something piques your interest, raise your hand. And 3, work in groups. NCAA championships, attendance is encouraged, passion is mandatory. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets. Class dismissed.
I worked in HVAC when I was in high school, and I really liked being on a job site. When Keene State came to my high school, the admissions counselor told me I could have a job on a job site and also make a difference on people's lives. He said being a safety engineer meant I could work with my hands, but also make sure that everybody was going to be home safely at the end of the day. The safety field is growing rapidly because companies are noticing that keeping their workers healthy means that they can keep their workers working. My plan is to graduate from Keene State so I can get back onto a job site as a safety engineer. It's great because there's jobs to choose from all over the United States, so I can basically go anywhere I want. Keene State is giving me the tools to make that happen.
What is the best place to eat in Keene? I would say Elm City Brewery is the best place to eat in Keene. Why did I choose Keene State? I chose Keene State to be closer to home, and because I love all the trails here to run on, it's just a great place to train and compete. Favorite TV show is probably Breaking Bad, and my second favorite is probably The Office. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I don't really know, but I would say, yeah, it probably is. Something my coach always says is there's no such thing as bad weather, just weak people. My favorite app on my phone is probably Spotify. Teammate who is most likely to become famous is probably Jake Pearl. Who on the team spends the most time on TikTok? It's got to be Michael Gelati. And my favorite vacation spot is Captiva Island in Florida.
Our campus can be pretty quiet during the summer, but we're still here to show you what your life at Keene State will be like. I'm Emma, a tour guide in the admissions office, and I'm here to answer your questions and show you the parts of our community you're interested in seeing most. You can book a tour at keene.edu/visit or reach out to any of our admissions staff to find out when you can come see our home. Here's a sneak peek at what a tour is like.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
It's always been more than just a game. It is a legacy. Support the USA Basketball Foundation as we look to expand that legacy. For her, for them, for us. All of us, together.
I worked in HVAC when I was in high school, and I really liked being on a job site. When Keene State came to my high school, the admissions counselor told me I could have a job on a job site and also make a difference on people's lives. He said being a safety engineer meant I could work with my hands, but also make sure that everybody was going to be home safely at the end of the day. The safety field is growing rapidly because companies are noticing that keeping their workers healthy means that they can keep their workers working. My plan is to graduate from Keene State so I can get back onto a job site as a safety engineer. It's great because there's jobs to choose from all over the United States, so I can basically go anywhere I want. Keene State is giving me the tools to make.
Our campus can get pretty quiet during the summer when most students are home, but that doesn't mean it's completely empty. Students are working and learning here year-round. There's tour guides and student workers like me, and students are interning all over the Monadnock region. Many of our majors require hands-on learning, and our students are working as reporters, videographers, environmental advocates, and scientific researchers to gain experience. Here's a look at what's happening right here in our city this summer.
I remember writing in the second grade that I wanted to be a teacher, and I always knew that I was going to be a teacher. I started school a year early, and it created challenges for me because I wasn't able to pick up material as fast as the other students. Outside of school, my jaju would quiz me on my math facts and read with me. It showed me that even though I had challenges in school, there were still people who wanted to help me. In high school, I knew I had to work harder than everyone else to get the same results, but I had teachers that would help me in subject areas outside of their own because they could relate to how I felt. The way these interactions with my jaju and my teachers made me feel while I was learning is the inspiration for how I'd like my students to feel. I'm able to build relationships and be vulnerable with my students when they're struggling because I've been in their shoes and I know exactly how they feel. Being able to relate to them from my own experience has become a massive asset in becoming a teacher.
So when I ask students why Keene State, the students say unanimously it's the sense of community. The feel when you walk on this campus is immediately a sense of belonging, a sense of safety, a sense of welcome, and a sense of opportunity and promise. And so I think our students feel that when they come to our campus and they experience it when they join us. Why students choose this campus is the sense and feel and also the opportunity and the promise of that opportunity for them when they're making the decision. And why they stay is that we deliver on that promise. We have students from urban environments, from rural environments, and when they come to Keene State in those first weeks of forming a new community, they bring all of those experiences together to create a better Keene State. It's a campus small enough to feel a sense of recognition and identity, and a campus big enough to feel part of something bigger than yourself. This isn't a passive experience, so please get engaged, find a club, make a new group of friends, get involved in a recreational sport activity, in an intramural sport, get involved in a creative performance, go see a show, be a part of this community and squeeze everything you can out of Keene State. And if you do that, I am confident you will have an exceptional experience and your life will be changed as a result of it.
I remember writing in the second grade that I wanted to be a teacher, and I always knew that I was going to be a teacher. I started school a year early, and it created challenges for me because I wasn't able to pick up material as fast as the other students. Outside of school, my jaju would quiz me on my math facts and read with me. It showed me that even though I had challenges in school, there were still people who wanted to help me. In high school, I knew I had to work harder than everyone else to get the same results, but I had teachers that would help me in subject areas outside of their own because they could relate to how I felt. The way these interactions with my jaju and my teachers made me feel while I was learning is the inspiration for how I'd like my students to feel. I'm able to build relationships and be vulnerable with my students when they're struggling because I've been in their shoes and I know exactly how they feel. Being able to relate to them from my own experience has become a massive asset.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball or it's not just about school. It's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity, personally, and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
I remember writing in the second grade that I wanted to be a teacher, and I always knew that I was going to be a teacher. I started school a year early, and it created challenges for me because I wasn't able to pick up material as fast as the other students. Outside of school, my jaju would quiz me on my math facts and read with me. It showed me that even though I had challenges in school, there were still people who wanted to help me. In high school, I knew I had to work harder than everyone else to get the same results, but I had teachers that would help me in subject areas outside of their own because they could relate to how I felt. The way these interactions with my jaju and my teachers made me feel while I was learning is the inspiration for how I'd like my students to feel. I'm able to build relationships and be vulnerable with my students when they're struggling because I've been in their shoes and I know exactly how they feel. Being able to relate to them from my own experience has become a massive asset in becoming a teacher.
Live from Dr. Ron Butcher Field, where the Owls start with possession against the Corsairs of UMass-Dartmouth. The Corsairs, Bacchus able to put in a cross attempt that gets picked off by Juliana Stolfi. Stolfi redirects things out of play.
Yeah, but 2 we need.
Corsairs get a throw in here that they work.
On it. Okay. Do you know how to fix that, or do you want me to?
Parker defended heavily there, resulting in another play out of bounds. Sent away by Rachel Souza. Less of a pass, more of a clearance attempt there, but Halligan works in and intercepts that clearance. And now in a foot race, breaks through one defender, gets held up by a second. Still putting on the pressure though, forcing a turnover that gets into the feet of Capico. Couple of back and forths here at the very start of the game to determine who has possession. That will be a throw in for UMass-Dartmouth.
This is crooked. Like it's. Yeah.
Kadura
No, yeah.
sends it in. Stolfi with a solid job of redirecting that kick in.
It's not bad. I just.
Dickinson gets beat by the Corsair. Stolfi with a quick throw in to Capico. Capico misses it. Intercepted there by Swass. Bach now sends it back to the goalkeeper Conti, who gets challenged real quickly by Devine there, but wisely sends it away. Owls now on UMass-Dartmouth's side of the field with possession. Solid pass from Burzlaff. Burzlaff to Capico. Capico now has that one stripped away. Solid move there from Thompson. Thompson briefly able to get around Mullen until Stolfi's there to back her up. Stolfi's been impressive on defense all year, limiting the amount of goals that Keene has to defend, and that was a prime example of such a thing. Here comes Widmer. Widmer back to her teammate. Win over to Kadua. Now UMass-Dartmouth works it onto the Owls side of the field. Kadua looks for a through pass that gets intercepted there by Alexis Skinner. Skinner does a great job of redirecting things, briefly kept in play before it goes out for a goal kick for Sonia Moritz. Moritz has been solid in goal all season, and that's also because of the great defensive work of players like Alexis Skinner there and Rachel Souza, of course Juliana Stolfi as well. And the goal kick goes past Burzlaff that time. Kadua is able to pick it up at midfield for the Corsairs. Battle for possession. Couple of back and forths now. Burzlaff has it at midfield, redirects it to her partner. Shooting able to get it into Dickinson. Freshman to freshman. Freshman puts one in. Cross attempt for Halligan. That was going to be a freshman to freshman to freshman setup that time, but unfortunately, Grace Conti able to rush out of goal, sensing the threat. Kadua challenge down the sideline where it's forced out of play by the Owls. She'll get a throw in. Looking for her teammate. Parker goes wide, but still forced out of play again by the Owls. booted the other way by UMass-Dartmouth. Stays in play, where in the corner it's picked up. Couple of redirections by Keene State. Stolfi chasing this one down, getting challenged. Bit of a shove that time. Still in play. Now it's a 2-on-1. Great job by Stolfi to break up the attempt there from Widmer. That will result in a goal kick for Sonia Moritz. Great job by the Keene defense, as we've noted this season. Despite Moritz being great in goal, it's been also an effort from the stifling defense of Keene to prevent as many saves as possible. That goal kick gets just to the other side of the field where UMass sends it the other way.
It's okay, I'm on two. You're good. You got it? Yep.
Here comes Devine. Great job by Bryn Dickinson to intercept that clear attempt. Now a one-on-one. And they're going to let it be a free kick for UMass-Dartmouth. Dickinson and Bach were going at each other. Somewhere there was a whistle called as Capico continues to be that disruptive midfielder we've talked about all season, intercepting both free kicks and throw-ins. Now Stolfi putting on the pressure herself, backed up by Mullen. Mullen sends it out of play. Thompson attempts to get ahead of that header away from UMass-Dartmouth, but Conti, sensing the threat, rushes out of goal, shutting things down. Kadua now, still on her side of the field, with a great through ball that gets broken up by Souza and sent back to Kadua, then eventually out of bounds where Keene gets possession. Skinner with a quick throw in to Shootin. That time, once again, sent out of play. Both teams feeling each other out here in the early minutes. Great interception by Skinner. Works the through ball into Skinner. Excuse me, it was Halligan that had that wonderful interception and through ball attempt. After a brief bit of momentum there, Keene does turn it over to the Corsairs. Owls have a swarmy defense that's really hard to shut down, especially at midfield when you're trying to get it into their possession. Capico redirects things, keeps it on the Corsair side of the field before an interception of the Corsairs' own, and a through pass up looking for Widmer. Widmer challenged by Stolfi. Widmer redirects it and a spin move, but Stolfi forces it out of play. And Widmer would have been the last one to touch as they award the throw in here to Stolfi. Gets it to Capico, who heads it the opposite direction. Halligan with a good job to keep the momentum going towards the UMass-Dartmouth side of the field as Devine, who had the hat trick last game, rushes in a one-on-one, tackled away. Dickinson picks up the tackle, crosses it in, looking for Burzlaff, but just wide. Stays in play. Burzlaff redirects it into the goal. Great interception that time from Adams. Could sense some offensive momentum being built there by Keene before ultimately getting shut down and getting Conti a goal kick. Conti started this season with 4 straight shutouts. It's been a bit difficult since, but definitely has the ability to shut down an explosive offense like that we saw on Wednesday from Keene in a 5-0 victory. Before that one could get to midfield, Souza sent it back to Conti. Conti sends one the other way. Now Stolfi keeping it still on UMass-Dartmouth side of the field as Dickinson rushes in, tries to gain possession. They will say it was last out on UMass-Dartmouth as Stolfi gets a throw in towards the right corner of Dartmouth's side of the field. Haugen challenged, puts it in the corner, which will result in a goal kick for Conti. Excuse me, that's going to be a free kick, I guess. Nope, no, it is a goal kick. Sorry about that. Doesn't really clear that one, just sets up a couple of solid through passes for her teammates. Can be dangerous against a stifling defense like Keene, who's able to turn the ball over quickly. But a couple of great through passes, works it up to Widmer in the corner, challenged by Stolfi. Once again, Widmer beaten by Stolfi. Mullen with some great insurance for Stolfi that time. But the ball stays in play as a jockey for position is now going on. But they're going to call a whistle on Bryn Dickinson there, who, I mean, it seemed like a pretty solid contest for the ball, both using their bodies equally to try to gain possession. But Corsairs get the free kick, which Bach will take. Bach sends it in, gets it over to Wynn. Now on the far right side of the field, Souza's there to pick things up. Challenged successfully, though, by Adams. And now Mullen's there to pick up a shot attempt. Still a bit of a feeling out process between both of these LEC opponents early into this first half. Neither team with a successful shot on goal, but definitely some bursts of offense. Souza sends it over into the Corsairs side of the field. And the Corsairs pick it up, direct it to their goalie, who tries to clear things out of their side. Some great passing from Keene's defenders, as now Stolfi works it up into the offensive side of the field. Good redirection from Capico, looking for Dickinson. Can she keep it in play? Crosses in, intercepted by the Corsairs. Now here comes Wynn. Wynn challenge, loses possession. Dickinson loses possession as well. And that will be Keene's throw-in for Stolfi. Capico 1-on-2 here. But a great pass to Souza. Works her way through a couple of defenders. Gets it to Burzlaff. But now the ball's heading the opposite direction of where they want it to be. Challenged by Kadua. Pass attempt stolen by the Corsairs. Looking for Widmer. But ends up to Thompson. Thompson leading goal scorer for this Corsairs team. And yet another great IQ play from the Owls defense as they continue to intercept passes that are worked in front of the goal. Similarly, though, another high IQ play from Grace Conti, who's been terrific in goal all season for UMass. It's the third time we've seen her rush out to pick something up that didn't have the right momentum. And we've got a substitution here for the Owls. It's going to be Katie Hattie coming in for Kate Burzlaff. And after a throw-in attempt that got a little dicey, things go out of play, but still remains Keene's possession as they dominate offensively. a great pass into Widmer goes wide. And a great tackling play that time by UMass-Dartmouth. Stolfi throws it in where Shuden battles to maintain possession. Ultimately, Capico gets a hold of it. Kadua breaks past Hattie, but it's a 1-on-2 where Skinner's able to pick her up. Skinner, a defensive star of this team. Nothing goes for the Corsairs. They'll get another attempt here. Kadua gets it into one of her teammates who heads it away. Mullen breaks it up where Hattie gets a hold of it. Redirects it to Skinner. Skinner with a through ball into Dickinson that bounces off of her foot. And UMass-Dartmouth will get it where they'll send it back to Conti, who's been great at redirecting things for her teammates all night, or all day. This time, though, Stolfi does intercept it to Capico. A little back and forth between Capico and Dickinson. Unfortunately, Capico's pass goes wide of the freshman. A little over 15 minutes played now. Neither team generating a shot on. Dickinson crosses it in, but headed away easily by one of the Corsairs. But Capico did redirect things to Katie Hattie, who's now challenged in a 2-on-1, gets it briefly stolen away, and does an impressive job holding her own, and does maintain possession where she crosses it in with an attempt to Riley Devine, but it's just a hopper into the hands of Conti. Conti doing a great job remaining composed there, excuse me. Because attempts were definitely generated, but not the execution Keene needed. And Stolfi, as per usual, does a great job forcing the offensive players to commit turnovers with her very pressurous defense. That time, it would be the efforts of Shuden and Dickinson, the forwards, doing what Stolfi normally does. Some aggressive play on the sideline results in a turnover. Capico with a through ball. She's looking for Hattie, but gets challenged. Hattie challenged by Kadua, falls down. Kadua. Hattie redirects things. Skinner was in a similar position where she had a goal last week. Keene gets a free kick, here. They'll let Stolfi take it. And a pass attempt off the free kick that Capico heads into the direction of Hattie. Hattie has to chase it down, challenged, and with some good footwork she keeps it her own, where a pass is intercepted by the Corsairs. That will go out of play. as we get a couple of substitutions here from both teams. Coming in for Keene is number 27, Emily O'Connell, as well as Jocelyn Tyler. They will be coming in for Capico and Divine. Now at the midfield, where Keene has dominated all season long with their very, very swarmy defense. Mullen now in a one-on-one against McAuliffe. Throw in from Widmer. Gets headed back to Widmer in the corner where it's sent out of play by Stolfi. Another throw in. Headed again off the throw in. Shuden sends that one out of play. A couple back and forth jockey for positions. Skinner heading that one away successfully. Swass getting challenged by Shuden. Shuden works it to her teammate O'Connell. O'Connell running down the sideline now. Possible breakout attempt to the fast forward Tyler, but the pass is out of play, unfortunately. Because in a one-on-one situation, Jocelyn Tyler has the speed to beat just about anyone. Keene's just looking for that first real shot on. So is UMass-Dartmouth. Feeling the surmounting pressure, Keene sent that one out of play. Crossing attempt there, intercepted. Great work by Juliana Stolfi. And now ball high in the air off of a rebound. Worked from Wynn to Widmer. Widmer, challenged by Stolfi, successfully beats her and gets a good pass off. But a physical play with no whistle results in Stolfi generating a turnover. It's what she does best. Aggressive but clean defensive player. Now O'Connell gets a great pass up the side to Hattie. Hattie in a one-on-one situation does get beat, but O'Connell's there to pick it up for her. And a couple of great passing attempts here are broken up finally by UMass-Dartmouth. That time it was the forward Jocelyn Tyler having a solid defensive move. Keeping it away from the Corsairs, as this time Tyler works it. And now scary for Conti as both teams trying to fight for position right in front of that penalty box as a shot gets in and it's a hopper once again. Just a few bounces that Conti's able to pick up rather easily. And as we approach 15 minutes of play, that is our first shot on goal. Both teams tied at 0 here in this LEC matchup. Shuden now works away a couple of Corsairs. Halligan's getting challenged, but another great showcase of footwork as Shuden tries to put in an attempt there. She was looking for Tyler as she was working her way into the penalty box, but some solid defensive awareness there that time from Bach, who sent it away. That one shot on goal did a lot, generating offensive momentum for the Owls as we do get a substitution it will be Kendall Healy coming in for Halligan. And with some offensive momentum being built, it is always great to bring in Kendall Healy, who has been terrific defensively. So where they've already been sound, they're adding more pressure as they build their momentum offensively. O'Connell now by herself gets one in. Pass intercepted, but she picks up the interception. Hattie tried her best to challenge the Corsair there, which will result in a goal kick for Conti.
Yeah, they don't do overtime anymore. It'll be done.
Conti sets this one up. Gets past her forward where Skinner intercepts the ball. Now some passing attempts here from Keene that are successful. And that time a deep through ball gets to Dickinson. Dickinson back to Stolfi. Corsairs have to send that one out of play as Keene was picking up a lot of pace there. Speaking of pace, here comes Tyler, speedy forward, challenged 3-on-1. Still remains Owls' possession. Impressive work there. Picking her up was Mullen and Stolfi, unsurprisingly. Now O'Connell's got it. Keene doing a great job of using footwork to avoid steal attempts and pressure from the Corsairs. Finally, UMass-Dartmouth has it onto the Owls side of the field. Working it is Rita. Excuse me, that was McAuliffe. Sonia Moritz rushes out a goal that time. Maybe stretch her legs as she has yet to face a shot on goal. Great job by Healy coming off the bench there that time. Skinner now puts one up in the air. O'Connell attempted to head it away, where Shooten does get a hold of it, and they're going to call it a free kick for UMass. Looks like they have Adams setting it up. Here goes Adams' attempt, and it's ultimately just a fake into a pass, and great awareness there from Stolfi. Uses a back leg to break up a through ball attempt. And another call, this one on UMass-Dartmouth, so the free kick goes to Keene. Stolfi in her own territory, likely just setting up some sort of pass attempt here. Still a deep one. Gets it in to Healy with a great header. Header directed towards Dickinson. Dickinson gets challenged. Healy does a good job keeping it in play. Now Stolfi rebounds. Still on UMass side of the field. The Owls putting on some pressure. Finally gets turned over. Instead of going with the momentum, Hattie sends it back. Hattie's pass is successful to Tyler. Tyler gets a great through ball to Shooten. Little too much on it, though.
As long as we end on like the center field or something.
And a great juke there from O'Connell. Gets it to Stolfi. Stolfi puts one up. Not where she needs to put it. Keene gets another throw in as we have a substitution. Sanders is coming in for Dickinson. Played just over 30 minutes now here at Dr. Ron Butcher Field in a tie game in the LEC. Couple more substitutions coming in for UMass-Dartmouth. We've got number 12, Emma McDonald, as well as Antonella Goncalves. They'll be subbing in respectively for Widmer and Bach. And as that travels out of the goal lines, Moritz will get a goal kick here. See if she can set something up for her Owls offense. Moritz really just needs to get it to midfield, where Keene does a great job of sending things the other way, but this time UMass does briefly intercept. Right off the bench, Sanders putting a challenge on the midfielders of the Corsairs. Now Healy presenting a challenge of her own. She's been great since coming off the bench only moments ago. Defensively, a huge threat for this Owls team. Over to the other defensive star, that's Stolfi. Shows some offensive moves that time with her feet. Gets it over to Tyler. Tyler and Stolfi with a back and forth. Open is Sanders. Sanders was briefly by herself, but after a bit of a bouncing pass, the defender was able to keep up with Sanders successfully, as we are going to get a corner kick from Stolfi. Stolfi has set up some really solid corner kicks this season, as this feels like even though there is a shot on goal, it does feel like the real first opportunity here for Keene against the impressive goalie Conti. Sent in, and after a bit of a collision between multiple players, tough to see exactly what happened. The Corsairs send it the other way. Now Souza gets it over to Stolfi. The defensive player is playing some forward-like moment or position now. Skinner rebounds the shot that was deflected. And Keene really putting some pressure on after the corner kick. They're able to keep things on the Corsair side of the field with some successful passing that's finally being broken up now. Skinner's going to get this throw in. And that midfield disruption that we talk about all the time here at Dr. Ron Butcher Field, the Owls do a great job of sending things the other way. Stolfi and Healy, a big part of that, as we just saw here. Skinner with a through ball in. Before the goal kick is called. And here comes Hattie. Hattie works it in after a 1-on-3. Gets it to Tyler. And unfortunately, after a nice little spin attempt to avoid defenders, Tyler sends it wide left of the goal. Number of substitutions happening here. We've got Allison Yansky for Keene, as well as Ava Mori for UMass-Dartmouth, and that will also be Bella Medeiros, the captain. Yansky coming in for Tyler. Skinner intercepts the goal kick. But after sending things the opposite direction, UMass is now challenging in the Owls territory as an attempt comes in that Moritz is easily able to come out of goal for. And maybe get some clearance going for Keene. Drop kicks it right before center field. Shooting now across center field. Gets it to Yansky, who just subbed in. Yansky to Healy. Healy down the corner. Great work there. Puts it in, and an impressive stop by Conti. She had to dive or jump right up to the goalpost that time.
Yeah, no, that's why when I see that, I'll switch to 10.
Conti feeling a little bit of the pressure immediately after saving that one. Tried to get a pass attempt to one of her teammates that sailed out of play, because now Keene's working it in their side of the field. Stolfi does take it back briefly, though, to regain. Couple of solid pass attempts here, successful for Keene, until on the far right sideline a pass gets ahead of Katie Hattie. We got under 10 minutes to go here in this first half in a tie-tie LEC game. And that time it will be a throw-in for Keene. Quick dump off to Shooten, gets turned over by UMass-Dartmouth. Good through attempt there, gets intercepted by Mullen. Mullen's been great at intercepting those through attempts. So is Healy, who's only been on the field for a few minutes now, but has made her presence felt immediately. Devine with a great attempt in here. Hattie gets challenged. Yansky that time unable to direct it the other way. And here comes Souza to pick things up. But we'll turn it over to the Corsairs. And after a little challenge at center field, UMass does work it to the Owls' deep corner where Moritz runs out of goal and picks up a great stop there. Definitely wasn't the angle UMass wanted, but it was the only thing that they could get off with the momentum they had built, because Keene just has that very, very tough defense to work against. It's definitely tough at midfield, but they have players like Mullen that can really be insurance policies for Moritz. As Sanders rushes in, she does beat the defender. It's a one-on-one. After a juke move, turns into a one-on-two where it's sent out of play, feeling the pressure. It's going to result in a corner kick for Stolfi. Stolfi's kick sent in, headed away by UMass the other direction, still in play. Rather than rushing for it, Souza lets the defender pick it up and intercepts it herself as she challenges her one-on-one. And now a classic misdirection at midfield by Keene. The pressure by players like Souza is tough to beat. Stolfi trips up on herself and still breaks the defender. Stolfi on her own now, figuring out who she wants to pass it to, or maybe a shot herself. She gets it over to Sanders in the deep corner. And unfortunately, that one is just a little too hot as it goes past Sanders, who was on her own. She might have been able to get a nice attempt in the deep right corner there, as we got a couple substitutions in the final few minutes of this first half. It's going to be number 6 for UMass-Dartmouth, Julia Marazzo, as well as Maya Hayes. Here's Mullen on Keene's side of the field, sends it back the other way to Sanders. Sanders able to get a foot on that, where I don't know if she purposely headed that one the other way, but gets a hold of O'Connell. O'Connell gets shoved, no whistle. O'Connell was in a one-on-one there after the header that was redirected, and things got physical down there, but no whistle came of it. Stolfi's throwing gets to Healy. Healy to Souza. Souza to Mullen. Now still on the Owls side as Keene's trying to figure out where they want to send things. And Maya Hayes, who just came off the bench, almost getting past Stolfi there, which is very tough to do. O'Connell tripped up a bit that time there. They do blow the whistle. Going to give a free kick for Keene. Stolfi's going to take that one. Past few home games, that is, at least on these free kicks, Keene's been setting up a lot more passes than shot attempts. With one deeper here, let's see if they continue with that trend. That time it does go as a pass to Yansky. Yansky challenged. Sanders almost able to beat the defender. Stolfi intercepts it. Stolfi back to Sanders. Sanders in the far right corner, down the side, redirected, and it's in! O'Connell with the rebound off the shot attempt, and it's a goal for Keene. Unfortunate for Conti and fortunate for O'Connell. That will put the Owls up 1-0 in this LEC contest.
Thank you so much. You have to stay focused on that. And then, do we know who scored it? Who scored it?
O'Connell with a great job being where she needed to be on the rebound. Conti was not expecting her team to miss picking that one up. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-0 game for Keene State with 1 minute to go in this first half. It's been a bit of a feeling out process through these first 45 minutes, so it's got to feel great for Keene to get a goal in that sort of circumstance. Especially at a home game in the LEC. This is the kind of momentum they need. Now Healy is able to get a through ball over to Sanders where it's intercepted by UMass. This one's slowly bouncing in towards the penalty box. UMass doesn't like that. They redirect it. And in these last few seconds here, Skinner does get the throw in for Keene.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, well, that will do it for the first half. Keene 1, UMass-Dartmouth Corsairs 0 off of the
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. You can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, being a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is a It's a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
All right, pay attention. Welcome to Fandom 101. We'll cover the tools of the trade from foam fingers in the wave to the super secret wave. How's that for a course description? Lesson 1, your game starts long before the opening whistle, so arrive prepared. 2, if something piques your interest, raise your hand. And 3, work in groups. NCAA championships, attendance is encouraged, passion is mandatory. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets. Class dismissed.
Come on, big dog, help me out. Yeah, I don't really know. Help out here, dude.
I don't know. Literally don't know any of them.
We should have studied. Abe didn't give us heads up. Hi, I'm Jackie Alibrandi.
My name's Riley Burgess, and we're here to play.
What do you know? The Sparks, the Lynx. Mercury. You want to help out here, big dog?
I don't watch
Come on, big dog, help me out. Liberty.
Keep going.
Yeah, I don't really know. Help out here, dude.
I don't know. Literally don't know any of them.
Honestly, that might be the best we got. Oh.
Indiana Fever, the Washington Mystics, the Dallas Wings, the defending champion Las Vegas Aces.
That's what it was.
And the Seattle Storm.
We suck.
Yeah.
Dang.
UConn, North Carolina.
South Carolina. Notre Dame. Kentucky. Duke. Arkansas.
Oregon. Since 2000, that's like 22 years.
Oh, Boston College. Boston University. Boston. Arizona. Oh. Georgia. Michigan. Yeah, we are guessing states. Florida. San Fran. I'm not good at this game. Gonzaga. Indiana?
No.
I forget who Caitlin Clark's on. Miami? It's in Florida. Washington? Nevada? I don't know. I'm trying to go through states now. We should have studied. Abe didn't give us heads up. You don't get any hints.
You said Michigan.
Michigan State. Ha! Yes. Now we're, cause, yeah, dude.
Ohio State.
Utah.
I don't want to tap out, but I feel like we should.
I feel like it's getting worse.
Yeah, okay, wait. Let's get one more. Okay, yeah, we might tap out.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Purdue was the other big one.
Oh.
Rutgers,
Oh.
Stanford,
There it is.
Tennessee, Texas.
We stink.
We're really bad.
We stink.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so our seniors were Jordan, Lily, Tamara. Juniors were Jenny and Bree. Sophomores, yeah.
Or Ariana.
Yeah, Ani. Michelle, Leah, Sam.
Me, you, Katie, Mary, Colby.
Jenny, Bree.
Haley, DeRosa.
Oh, Haley. Oh my god.
That's it. So, there you go, yeah.
My favorite thing about Keene State, I really like how close the classes are together. My favorite class at Keene State, right now I'm really enjoying my film analysis class. I really enjoy the teacher. If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, what would it be? I really like meatball subs. I've had it since I was a little kid. My mom would always make them. What do I enjoy most about my sport? I really like how everyone is kind of all together. The track team, even distance, we all talk, have dinner together. Who on the team spends the most time on TikTok? I would have to say that's probably Michael Gigliotti. My favorite vacation spot, I really want to visit Iceland. I think that would be a very cool place to go. Dogs or cats? I'm more of a dog person, even though my family, we both have a dog and a cat. My favorite TV show would probably have to be The Magicians. There's 7 seasons of it. I really love that show. My dream job would probably have to be a cinematographer or editor for films. My craziest teammate, it's really fun to spend time around Dawson Hamale, so I'm gonna put him for that.
What is my favorite thing about Keene State? I definitely have to say the people. I've met a lot of great people so far, and it's become like a second family to me. But what is my favorite sport to play other than mine? Definitely have to say football. I used to play back in high school, and I love watching it, I love playing it. It's definitely my second favorite sport. And what is my favorite TV show? I'm gonna have to say Moon Knight. On Disney Plus, I really like it. What is my favorite class at Keene State? I have to say I'm taking astronomy right now, and it's really interesting, and it's really cool. What is one thing my coach always says at practice? One thing he always tells me is that I'll get there, and what he means by that is, especially in my event, the triple jump, I'm new to it, and I want to be great fast, and he tells me that, these things take time, and so I got to listen to him, and he's right. So we'll get there, that's what he says. And what is my favorite vacation spot? I'd have to say Canada. Even though it's not the most tropical spot, I have family up there. I really enjoy the scenery and everything. Yes or no, does pineapple belong on pizza? Pineapple does not belong on pizza. Absolutely not. Who is a professional athlete I admire in my sport? I have to say Usain Bolt, 100%. A guy I always grew up wanting to be. And in my event, I'd have to say Pedro Picardo. He's an amazing triple jumper, and I basically learned triple jump by just watching him jumping. Who is my craziest teammate? I have to say it's a tie between Aiden Law and Dawson Hamale. Those two guys they're really great people. I mean that in the best way. They're really great people. What is my favorite movie? I have to say Coming to America. It's an old movie. I used to watch it with my parents all the time. Just a really good immigration type of movie.
We know you will find your community along Appian Way here at Keene State College, over a campfire on the Student Center lawn, in some friendly games and competition, or in a club you connect to at the Student Involvement Fair. Maybe you will find your people on the courts, in a cheering section in the stands, at the rink on the ice, skating as an owl, or chilling in the yoga studio. Your connections may take place on the quad, listening to music, hanging out with friends, participating in a Keene State tradition like Pumpkin Palooza, or working on a group project, studying with classmates. Maybe your talents will bring you together with your community on one of our stages, in the main theater, or the recital hall at the Red Fern Arts Center. For us, community is all about the people you meet and the connections you make. At Keene State, our community is really about you.
And we are back at Dr. Ron Butcher Field after a closing goal from Emily O'Connell has it at 1-0 in this LEC matchup. As Dartmouth worked it down the side, it was forced out of play by Bryn Dickinson. There's Souza to send it the other way. Couple of back and forths here, trying to figure out who's going to ultimately hold position. Capico gets it to Dickinson down the side. Broken up pass. Another throw in here for Dickinson. Back to Souza around center field. Trying to set up some passes before it's stolen away by the Corsairs. Through ball headed away. Couple of good redirections there from the Owls. Souza works her way through two defenders to get to Burzlaff at center field. Burzlaff takes it back into the Owls territory, trying to figure out who they want to pass it to or get a clearance attempt to. Skinner sends it through a couple of defenders where Capico is able to briefly get a hold of it, but it is bodied away by Bach. tripped up on the play that time.
If there is an injury, just remember not to get on. Yeah, just get on like the team's huddle or one of the benches or something. No,
And
just to make you think of it.
after being tripped up that time, they'll set up a free kick for Stolfi.
Oh no, sorry. No, you're good. There was like one game, I forget who was doing it. I think it was a men's game. Like one of their managers was doing it. He was like right on the end. I was like, "Get it off, buddy."
And great job heading things into their own territory where they were hoping to gain possession. Similarly to the start of the first half, there's been a bit of a jockey for position on who can gain possession in the other team's side of the field. A lot of back and forth action, trying to figure out what they're working with. Is a big through ball there. Gets worked in where Riley Devine steals it and directs it to her teammate Burzlaff. Burzlaff now with some jukes of her own. Through ball in over to Dickinson, over her head and out of play for a goal kick for Conti. Burzlaff was breaking some ankles before a through ball to the freshman Dickinson, but it had a little bit too much mustard on it. Had to. And Conti gets ready for her goal kick here. And as we've seen a few times, just a couple short passes right in the penalty box. But that works because of the disruptive midfield that Keene provides with players like Capico, who is rushing in right now. So they do redirect it away from Capico and the pressure that Burzlaff and Capico were putting on, successfully over to Bacchus. Bacchus briefly got it over to Thompson, leading goal scorer for this Corsairs team, before it was sent out of play. And here is Mullen to stop the attack. Headed away that time. Owls tried to get that back over to the center field, but Corsairs doing a good job this time avoiding the defensive pressure of the Owls, as an impressive job by McAuliffe to break a few ankles and get a successful pass until Burzlaff breaks that one up. Burzlaff now successful pass over to, it was over to Morin, but sent out of play. Skinner gets the throw in. Once again, Moran challenged, and Corsairs out of bounds. Throw in for Skinner to Capico. Capico, high pass over to Stolfi. Stolfi gets outraced that time. Rare you see it, and there she is to use her impressive foot skills to turn it over. Back to Hattie. Capico over to Moran. Moran finds Skinner. Skinner by herself, dangerous territory. She's got a lot of power and great execution as well. And another juke in a 1-on-2. Sends it in, but it's directly at Conti. Those are the kind of positions that UMass-Dartmouth cannot let Skinner get in again, because typically she's able to find the corner that the goalie's not able to get to in time. Conti right where she needed to be, reading the shot. Out of play, Skinner gets this throw in just on the Owl side of the field. Can easily work it towards the Corsairs side. Gets it to Burzlaff. Burzlaff's direction to Capico. Capico patiently waits and sets up a pass to Dickinson that's intercepted. And a couple back and forths this time result in Souza getting a hold of the ball over to Skinner. Skinner patiently waiting just like her teammate did before her. Moran picks up. Now Burzlaff in a one-on-one situation out-jukes the defender. Gets tripped up a little. She's back to her feet though. And we see another one of those jockey for positions between the two teams as they get a little bit of a feeling out process again at the start of the second half. Souza, great job heading that away. Widmer and Stolfi briefly go at it before that one's again out of bounds. Stolfi gets a throw in. Capico at center field uses a great movement before she gets tripped up. Great pressure there that time from the Owls. Kadua now. They send it back to their side of the field as they try to get some passes and figure out exactly what attack they want to use going forward. Bacchus now. As we continue to see Burzlaff and Kadua get into each other. Neither has much of an advantage as both Keene and UMass-Dartmouth are still really figuring out where they want to get their attacks going. Great job there from Souza to put it in the Corsairs side of the field to Burzlaff, and Burzlaff's through attempt to Dickinson is briefly successful as a back and forth between both number fours results in an out of bounds play there that Stolfi will get the throw in for, as we have three different substitutions for the Owls. We've got Katie Hattie coming in, as well as Emily O'Connell, the goal scorer from the first half, and Shuden coming in for Burzlaff, Moran, and Capico. So let's see if those substitutions have any effect on the offensive or defensive strategies of Keene. Hattie now directed to Halligan. Halligan gets it to Shuden. Both players just coming fresh off the bench. Dickinson down the right sideline, briefly handballed away, where a free kick will be awarded to the Owls. Skinner a little wider and closer here with a free kick than she would have an opportunity in the corner, so prolific goal scorer and great at setting up opportunities for her teammate. Let's see what the approach is this time. Conti on her toes for this. Keene was successful off a rebound off of the last corner. Skinner sends it in, and a great job bodying that away was UMass. Couldn't tell exactly which player, but one of the defenders did a great job as Mullen sends it back into the penalty box, where Conti does rush out against three defenders and lets it get by off the goalpost. Very lucky for Conti as Kadua sends it back, still in their side of the field. Corsairs feeling the pressure to get it out of their side. And now it's a 3-on-1, Mullen versus Bacchus. Souza there to send it back to Moritz. Moritz clears things away. Out of play. Conti, I'm not sure if she misread that or just had a lot of confidence. She came out of goal as three Keene State forwards were rushing towards her, and it went off the post as she was out of goal, but that very easily could have been a Keene State goal that would have put them up 2-0 in this LEC contest. Keene hopefully can build off that momentum. They still have the one goal scorer lead after all. Conti, a freshman, had 4 shutouts to start the season. Lucky to get away with another one there. We've seen this from the Corsairs a few times today. Deep in their own zone, they're relatively subtle with their passes, trying to figure out what sort of formations they want to run. That time out of play by Keene as Kadua gets a throw in. Mullen and Skinner, collaborative effort there to turn the ball over. This time sent out a play by Hattie. As the Corsairs continue to work it into the Owls side of the field, the defense continues to send it out of play, not allowing them to generate any solid through balls or shot attempts. As of course one does get in that time, Moritz is there quickly to pick it up and throw it back into play. A rolling ball up to her forward, Dickinson. Dickinson looking for Devine. Devine in a one-on-one as other defenders catch up to her. It's going to be a 2-on-1 where it's turned over. Turned over like a ping pong a couple times as Devine now has it again. Still on the Corsair side of the field. Dickinson works it to Stolfi. Stolfi sends one in. A lot of power as O'Connell heads it into Conti in a hopper off of the header. She's able to pick that one up. Great idea there from Keene. Nothing comes of it. Nice redirect there from the Corsairs. Hattie able to pick that one up. O'Connell. And a through ball attempt. She's looking for Devine. Devine couldn't rush in at the same time as Veronica Bach, and Bach just does a great job of sending that out of play. Great job from both Skinner and then eventually Souza to keep things out of play. Impressive work from Souza there. She's basically sitting on the ground, preventing Swass from getting to the ball. And here comes Shootin across midfield. Rushing attack here. Great footwork, able to do a little bit of a spin move and another juke. Pass over to Hattie. That's just a little too much power. Gets by her. They'll say it was last out on the UMass defender there as Skinner gets a throw in. Possibly set some sort of attempt up here for the Owls. But Kadua with a great read on it. Kicking it the other direction. Rushing in now is Bacchus. Bacchus in a one-on-one against Mullen. Mullen sends it out of play. And we do have a substitution now for UMass Amherst. It's going to be, or excuse me, UMass-Dartmouth. It's going to be 16, Maya Parker. Kadua now works it past Hattie. Good fake shot attempt and turns into a pass. And after a couple of good back and forth for the Corsairs, none other than Stolfi is able to shut them down. That ball sails over Souza's head, but Kadua now challenged. Hattie rushes in. They'll call it out on Kadua. Kadua sends it into Skinner. Excuse me, that's Devine. Devine does break the defender. Devine on her own right now with a through pass that gets intercepted. She was looking for the goal scorer from earlier, O'Connell. As now it's around center field as a couple of different back and forths occur. Both Skinner and Souza being the defensive artists they are. And that will be a free kick. Skinner lines up on her own side of the field. Sends it past center, where a couple of Corsairs are able to gain possession before a steal from Bryn Dickinson. Dickinson down the far right sideline with her through attempt. And it's a jockey between Devine and Bach. Devine briefly beat Bach before Bach sent it the other way, and Dickinson intercepts Bach's attempt. Now Shuden picks it up in front of the goal. Kadoa, right place, right time, right in the center of that penalty box before any sort of a shot or pass could be made. Intercepted it. Now Keene trying to figure out what their next attack will be as O'Connell races down the right sideline. Kept in play. Inadvertently sent off the back of O'Connell, which kept it in play. Sent in down the sideline. Kadua heads it away before Conti had to make any sort of save attempt. And a couple of substitutions here for the Owls and one for the Corsairs. We have Kendall Healy and Kinsey Donegan coming in for the Owls, as well as Emma McDonald for the Corsairs. We now have 25 to go in the second half of this LEC matchup, where the Owls lead 1-0, and a corner kick is getting set up here. Corner kick sails in. Donegan, who comes fresh off the bench, attempts to redirect it into the goal before Conti dives on top of it, gets tripped up a little by, I believe that's Skinner they're calling it. Now Conti sets up her goal kick, kind of a free kick after getting tripped up by Skinner that time. Down the sideline, Stolfi intercepts the pass attempt, as she has done successfully all season at the midfield, disrupting passes. As Keene attempted to work things down the far right sideline, nothing comes of it as Conti's able to redirect things for her team as they set up some sort of approach now. But Souza stops that momentum from culminating. Again, Souza redirecting things to Katie Hattie, who's by herself at center field. She dumps it off to Donegan, freshly off the bench. Donegan up to O'Connell. O'Connell now. A couple of great passes in front of the goal here for Keene, as Healy finally loses control. Keene kind of slowly figuring out what exactly they're going to do as they march on towards the Corsairs side of the field. A couple of good passes setting something up as Donegan now is on the Corsairs side. Through attempt into Halligan. Halligan gets challenged very physically. Nothing called of it. It turns into a 1-on-2. She ends up getting tripped up, but Schuden's able to pick it up. And very tough play in front of the goal as Healy sends in one. Rockets. And there's a goal for Healy. Initially, it seemed like Conti was able to get a hand on it, but she only tipped it, and that tips back into the goal, and it's a goal for Kendall Healy. It's now a 2-0 game for the Keene State Owls against UMass-Dartmouth.
Keene State goal scored by number 24, Kendall Healy.
It's been a great job from Keene so far this game to be there when they need to rebound shot attempts, and Kendall Healy that time getting it done. Great execution. Conti was where she needed to be, but she was only able to get the one hand on it that tipped it back into her own goal. Unfortunate for UMass. Perfect for Keene. A little over 20 to go now in a 2-0 contest. Healy, who just scored the goal, doing a great job of redirecting it to her teammate Stolfi. Stolfi gets it across center field to O'Connell. O'Connell challenged 2-on-1. Successful pass to Hattie. Now Hattie down the right sideline with an attempt to O'Connell. O'Connell gets it off successfully, or gets it to O'Connell successfully before her shot is blocked by one of the defenders of the Corsairs. It was a 2-on-1. Great effort. But wow, the Owls' offensive pressure, keeping it in the defending team's zone, is really impressive in making it hard for the defense to get any rest as Donegan rushes in. Adams sends it away. Now Conti tries to clear it for her team, where Schuden picks up the clear. The Owls were already putting on a lot of pressure on both sides of the ball, but now they really are with a 2-goal lead. You can tell they don't want to let anything slip in this one. Now here comes Hattie on her own. Hattie jukes out a defender. But it was good work there from Bach, though, as she was able to get it back rather quickly. And here comes the free kick with just over 20 minutes of play in this LEC contest from the Corsairs. Intercepted by Schuden, but oh, they're going to whistle her on that one. She did use her body a bit that time to knock down the Corsair. Now slowly kind of working it in their own side of the field before sending it across, and then a through attempt that it's going to be a foot race before Mullen breaks it up. Where's that Hattie? Excuse me. All by herself is McDonald. McDonald, before she can get a shot off, Souza intercepts it. Great block there from Souza. It was going to be a one-on-one between McDonald and Moritz. But Souza rushes in and slide tackles that one out of play. Impressive work from the defender. It does set up the corner here, though, which they will go with Adams, who they've been using in these positions so far today. Let's see if it'll pay off this time. Adams sends it in with a lot of power into the far left corner, but it's past the goalposts, sent out of play by Widmer. It will be a goal kick for Moritz. Great work by the Keene defense to shut any sort of attempt down as we wind down in this LEC matchup. Halligan and Shuden do a good job of working it up to midfield. Conti will just let that one bounce into her as she comes out of goal. Drop kicks that one to center field, where another one of these battles for possession occurs. Keene quickly wins that one in... Well, no they don't, as the whistle is called for a free kick. And like we've seen quite a few times tonight, Mullen rushes in. This time she keeps it in play at center field for her forward. Working with it now is Bacchus. Bacchus still at center field. Bacchus against Donegan. Couple good juke moves and a pass to her teammate. From Bach, it goes over. Maury challenged by Shuden. Shuden with a kick the other direction. An impressive little spin move there by O'Connell, the goal scorer from earlier. Nothing comes of it, though. Skinner with an impressive interception. And now Kendall Healy gets a through pass to Donegan in a 2-on-2. O'Connell directs it to Healy, who's out wide by herself as our pressure is rushing in. Great juke, gets by the defender, puts in another one. Healy was looking for her second goal, that time with a lot of power, sails over the goalpost. Conti doesn't have to make the save, but that's the kind of momentum Keene wants to keep up even with a 2-goal lead. They don't want to let off the gas as some substitutions come in, Christina Sanders being one of those, as well as for the Corsairs, Maya Hayes. As we've seen a lot tonight, the goal kicks just setting up short passes in their own zone, trying to figure out the attack they want to use. Those attacks haven't really come to much fruition so far. Rushing to pick that one up is Keene as Donegan battles for possession, works it over to O'Connell. O'Connell trying to go left to Healy. Healy again gets by a defender. Healy works it into Donegan before the whistle is called for offsides, and it's going to be a free kick, UMass. Halligan and Healy now working it. Healy, a big defensive presence, has been solid on offense in this one. Halligan in the far right sideline. Sets up a pass for Shuden. Shuden bumped but hangs on to it. Now over to Healy, where it gets intercepted. And then another turnover generated by Mullen this time. Mullen doing a great job reading these passes, keeping them from getting anywhere in scoring opportunity. Now it's a Halligan, Sanders back and forth. Sanders really putting the pressure on them. Couple of substitutions here for Keene as well as UMass. We've got Allison Yansky and Avery Amalfitano for Keene.
Kyle, do you want to do the same thing where you'll do the minute and countdown and then I'll come announce the ending of it? Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
And another substitution here as Burzlaff comes in for Donegan. Yansky that time gets it over to Healy. Healy was right in front of the penalty box before she could get something generated. Kadua looking for one of her teammates, doesn't find him. Owls swarming her. Impressive job to get around some of the best defenders Keene has to offer. Impressively kept in play there. Mullen now racing it down, keeps it away from Bacchus. Bacchus was pressuring her. And an attempt in here is easily handled by Moritz. That was Parker, who was just trying to get any sort of offense generated for her team, as they've struggled to find any sort of shots tonight. O'Connell works it over. Yansky with it. Moritz rushed out a goal for that one, but routine stop. Her clear gets to the hands of Shuden. Shuden, before a whistle is blown, that will be a free kick for the Corsairs.
I'll just have to kind of follow it and then just end on center field, and I'll keep it there while I go in and out fast, and then I'll switch it to. No, you're good. I mean, if you want to follow it, that's fine. If I have time to switch it.
We've got 10 minutes to play here in this LEC contest and 2-0 game for the Owls. As this one boots in, headed a couple different times. The header's direct towards Moritz. Moritz with a diving stop coming out of goal. Great job not letting that potentially get into the hands of another one of the Corsairs. Now Bacchus challenged by Skinner. Bacchus does get it to Kadoa, where Skinner challenges Kadoa. And looks like she tripped her up a little bit as a free kick is awarded. It will be Adams. With under 10 minutes to go, these are the moments that UMass really needs to execute on. Headed off of the attempt, it will be over the goalpost. Number of substitutions here for both teams coming in is Jocelyn Tyler, Bryn Dickinson, as well as Isabella Moran. And then Madison DePina for UMass-Dartmouth.
Okay, thank you. She never stopped it, so it's still recording. Okay, perfect. Perfect, thanks.
And with a great attempt in that time was Bacchus, but Moritz able to dive and stop it. Bacchus, who briefly found herself alone, wasn't able to get enough power on that to keep it off the ground. making Moritz save a little bit easier, but still impressive nonetheless. An impressive job of avoiding the defender that time was Isabella Moran, where Dickinson heads it back to Moran. Moran gets a hold of Tyler. Tyler works past the defender in open space with a lot of speed in a 1-on-2. Gets it past Conti. It's a goal for Jocelyn Tyler. First the speed and then the execution. It's a goal. 3-0 Owls.
Keene State goal scored by number 3, Jocelyn Tyler.
And now a 3-0 lead in an LEC matchup with only 7 minutes to go. Keene feeling a lot of momentum. Their defense has been stifling, but their offense has been explosive. It was a 5-0 win in their last outing, and now it's 3-0 against another LEC opponent. This is just what they want heading into the thick of the season. Tyler rushing in again. Gets beat that time. Intercepted briefly by Burzlaff, but UMass regains possession. Kadua down the sideline before it goes out of play. Throw in for Alexis Skinner of... Well, they're going to reward it to Kadua. Skinner was just as confused as I was. Burzlaff with an aggressive challenge. Didn't generate a turnover, but forced it out of play. Adams sends in a cross attempt. Successful before finally getting swarmed by the Keene State defenders, including Dickinson and Moran. Moran and Dickinson all making an effort there before Yansky steps in and directs it the other way. Yansky again right where she needs to be. This time Healy is going to boot it across the field, but doesn't get it to center as Corsairs keep it Owls territory. But some impressive challenging from the Owls. Dickinson was hoping to get it up to Tyler that time. Two players with a lot of speed on these teams. Just saw the Tyler goal where she had a breakaway. Skinner gets a throw deep in her own territory. Kadua does intercept. Mullen able to be the insurance policy she's been all night. Not allowing that one to get in front of the goal. Under 5 to go here. 3-0 lead for the Owls. Kadua heads that one, but it goes right to Yansky. Great job by Amalfitano to redirect that one. Booted in far right before a stop is needed from Moritz. Travels out of play. impressive play here by the Corsairs. They're building a little momentum, but will it be too little too late now, as working in is Maya Hayes. Hayes gets challenged before it's sent away from Souza out of... They keep it in play. Dickinson does a great job redirecting that over to Tyler before it's headed away. Remains the possession of the Owls. Throw in to Tyler. Tyler gets a hold of it right past center field in the Corsairs territory before a whistle is blown. Free kick for, throw in for UMass-Dartmouth. Time really winding down here in an LEC contest. 3 goals would be tough in a regular season matchup, let alone a conference matchup. So let's see what sort of pressure both teams can provide in the end. And yeah, that's exactly what we expected, that sort of grit from both sides. Skinner forcing it out of play. Skinner does find Tyler. Tyler keeps it in play, or tried to keep it in play. She does, as it was sent off of Kadoa. This is just what Keene wants to do with a 3-goal lead, is just dominate the time of possession with some passes and hold on to that ball as long as they can.
No, just leave everything running.
2 minutes to go now. Burzlaff with a collision there after the redirection. Nothing called. Skinner with a great pass attempt headed away by Kadoa. Skinner into Yansky. Yansky accidentally sends that one out of play. Oh, and that one gets away from Amalfitano as Hayes works in. Not really. Moritz wisely rushes into that one with just 60 seconds of play here.
1 minute remaining regulation.
Alright, I'm going to take the headset off, but I'm saying not to the rest of it. Thank you. Good job, guys.
Dickinson rushes in, tries to find Tyler before a couple defenders break up the pass attempt. Not really anything left that can be done for either team in this one with 30 seconds of play. 3-0 contest for the Owls right now.
I can. Dude, that wasp is a menace. Can you do me a big favor?
Yeah.
At the end of the game, can you press that? It says Owlsman.
Gotcha.
Just play that. Thank you.
And that whistle pretty much seals the deal here. An impressive LEC victory for Keene State College against UMass-Dartmouth.
3, 2, 1.
It will put them at 2-0-2 in LEC play. They've yet to drop any points. And we will be back briefly with an interview from a player and Coach Testo after this break.
So when I ask students why Keene State, the students say unanimously it's the sense of community. The feel when you walk on this campus is immediately a sense of belonging, a sense of safety, a sense of welcome, and a sense of opportunity and promise. And so I think our students feel that when they come to our campus, and they experience it when they join us. Why students choose this campus is the sense and feel, and also the opportunity and the promise of that opportunity for them when they're making the decision. And why they stay is that we deliver on that promise. We have students from urban environments, from rural environments, and when they come to Keene State in those first weeks of forming a new community, they bring all of those experiences together to create a better Keene State. It's a campus small enough to feel a sense of recognition and identity, and a campus big enough to feel part of something bigger than yourself. This isn't a passive experience, so please get engaged, find a club, make a new group of friends, get involved in a recreational sport activity and an intramural sport, get involved in a creative performance, go see a show, be a part of this community and squeeze everything you can out of Keene State. And if you do that, I am confident you will have an exceptional experience and your life will be changed as a result of it.
I remember writing in the second grade that I wanted to be a teacher, and I always knew that I was going to be a teacher. I started school a year early, and it created challenges for me because I wasn't able to pick up material as fast as the other students. Outside of school, my jaju would quiz me on my math facts and read with me. It showed me that even though I had challenges in school, there were still people who wanted to help me. In high school, I knew I had to work harder than everyone else to get the same results, but I had teachers that would help me in subject areas outside of their own because they could relate to how I felt. The way these interactions with my jaju and my teachers made me feel while I was learning is the inspiration for how I'd like my students to feel. I'm able to build relationships and be vulnerable with my students when they're struggling because I've been in their shoes and I know exactly how they feel. Being able to relate to them from my own experience has become a massive
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Our campus can get pretty quiet during the summer when most students are home, but that doesn't mean it's completely empty. Students are working and learning here year-round. There's tour guides and student workers like me, and students are interning all over the Monadnock region. Many of our majors require hands-on learning, and our students are working as reporters, videographers, environmental advocates, and scientific researchers to gain experience. Here's a look at what's happening right here in our city this summer.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
Comprehensive
All right, we are back on the Owls Media Network as a 3-0 win just happened for the Keene State Owls over UMass-Dartmouth, and that was thanks to the shutout performance from Sonia Moritz. How did that feel having a shutout? It's your third of the season.
It felt really good. I thought my team played really well to help me. My defense had an amazing game, so I got the easiness of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. You've had quite a few starts this season, including some really impressive ones in the LEC. What sort of confidence does it give you that your coach is starting you consistently in conference matchups?
It helps build my confidence on and off the field. Personally, during the games when she puts me in and continues, it just builds my confidence with myself, and that builds the team's confidence in trusting me.
And you've been awesome in goal, and so has your defense. How have they helped you from letting in goals this season?
They've been amazing. I mean, I would not have 3 shutouts if it was not for them. We communicate really well. We're all a team.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us on the Owls Media Network. Sonia Moritz, thank you. And now we're back with Coach Testo. As I noted to Sonia, it was a great 3-0 win in the LEC. But Sonia, with another shutout, how important has she been to you guys in your success this season?
She's been great. She's distributing the ball well. She's playing confident, coming off her line. She looks good.
And as I asked Sonia, the defense has been just awesome at keeping her from having to make so many saves. Who have you seen, or what have you seen that has really allowed the confidence in Sonia to build?
Our defense has been great. They communicate really well on the field. They're playing compacted. They're just winning all the 50-50s. Their confidence is growing too, which is awesome.
And it's now been 2 straight games where you guys have scored quite a few goals. Do you think that the offense is really finding its footing?
Yeah, we're getting there. Definitely, it's confidence and just putting themselves in those positions, in those situations, and being confident to just slot the ball in the back of the net. And we did that 3 times today, which was great.
Now, with 2 good-looking games under your belt, what are you hoping to see against Framingham State?
I just keep it rolling, keep continuing to play good soccer, possession soccer. That's what we live by, and try to get another W.
Absolutely. Congratulations again on the win. That was Coach Testo. Thank you. And we'll be back one more time on the Owls Media Network.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
It was a 3-0 victory in this LEC contest for the Owls. On Wednesday, the Owls take on Framingham State. For all the latest on Keene State athletics, visit KeeneOwls.com and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
You have been watching a Keene State Athletics broadcast on the Owls Media Network. Please tune in to our next broadcast, and thank you for watching.